You ready?
Ready. Ready. Well, I guess I was born an artist in some ways, but I was sort of born into a neighbourhood or family where there really wasn't any opportunity to be an artist. So I grew up in sort of poor, working class England, and I didn't go to school. You know, I left school and left home very young. So I got very distracted by things that young people get distracted by in places where there's little opportunity, which is not necessarily good things. And kind of made I did a bit of DJing and as bouncer and rave party promoter and stuff. I just kept getting into trouble and left England when I was about 20 and somehow ended up in Hong Kong where I worked as a construction worker. But I always used to paint and draw in my spare time, like purely as a hobby, and I sort of had dreams of going to art school, but there wasn't really any conduit to get into art school financially or in terms of not having any education really that would qualify me for higher education. I was always an artist, but life got in the way of that ever happening until quite recently. So I didn't really sort of become successful as an artist until sort of my late 30s. So yeah, just a bit over 10 years ago now. So I'm a bit of a late bloomer, but I guess better late than never. What is art? That's a nice, easy question. Well, I guess I'm still trying to work it out. I mean, there's the obvious what I do, which is make a painting. You know, that's clearly a piece of art that hangs on a wall. But for me, now that I'm working in multimedia and collaborating with people from different creative disciplines, different creative industries, it's really complex, that line between art, design, film, all these things. So, I don't know, it's, I'm not smart enough to answer that question yet, because I'm still working it out. But I would say everything, all of my output, whether it's film or installation or performance or painting, is art. But in the greater art world, I often scratch my head and wonder what's going on out there. But then I'm not really involved in the greater art world, I'm sort of an outsider. So yeah, too big a question I think, and something that I'm still trying to work out. But yeah, but that's art. Well, my process, I mean, how do I make a painting is, well, obviously I've been painting my whole life, so there's been this incremental progression from, I mean, I've had to teach myself for one, so a lot of what I do is this incremental progression from one work to the next as I'm trying to problem solve that mark-making thing that I do that creates a painting. So I start actually with photographing a subject, and then I do drawings based on the photographs, and then I sort of amalgamate some of those drawings, and that creates a final kind of composition, and then quite a very rough sketch onto the canvas, and then I fill it in, and that's very intuitive, and I never know how it's going to turn out, but there's a framework at least, and what I paint, you know, which is the body, but generally it's a human body in kind of movement or abstracted. I mean, you could argue that they're all self-portraits, I suppose, because everything one paints comes from your heart. I guess I'm painting everybody and myself, the human condition, and I'm definitely interested in this moment after something has happened and before something is concluded. So this unknown moment, frozen in time forever, which of course you can't actually hang on to. A moment is gone. So maybe there's a sentimental thing in there, and I love that I'm painting somewhere between beauty and violence. And yes, but that's how I work, and I work for hours and hours and hours, and never get bored of it really, because every new painting becomes very, very exciting, and it's the best thing I've ever painted, and a week later it's the worst thing I've ever painted, and on to the next one, on to the next one. Yeah, it's a beautiful and frustrating obsession. go from listening to podcasts. I really like history and science and things like that. And I listen to a lot of interesting people talking about sociology or philosophy or stuff that I don't know anything about. Half the time, the rest of the time, just listen to music. And at the moment, it's pretty broad, but I suppose it's generally underground music, grime music, kind of hip hop, MF Doom, Jay Dilla, and then things like on the punk rock side, like Slaves. So it's a pretty broad palette. I know everyone says, oh, I like good music, I like everything, but I don't like pop music, I don't like jazz. I like stuff that's got a bit of an edge to it, I suppose. Yeah.
For more information about Simon's paintings, please email me at thearthouseglobal@gmail.com. Again, thearthouseglobal@gmail.com. Thank you.
Are you recording already? You're supposed to ask a question and hit record.